What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the first episode of the Wager Zone MMA podcast. We're going to be breaking down all different types of fights here. We're going to be breaking down UFC, PFL, LFA. Our videos are going to be really posted on Tuesday and Wednesday because we want to be getting you guys the videos out so you guys can just get some insight on the fights and get some breakdowns maybe before you place your bets, and you guys analyze the fights and just come on YouTube and just look for an extra person just to talk about the fights and break it down with you. So first, we're going to be getting into the PFL. It's going to be on Friday. Our first matchup here is going to be Tyler Diamond versus Brett Johns. This is two vets going to be fighting in the game, and Tyler Diamond, I believe, is in the first round. He's going to be a first-round fighter, a bust in this fight, in my opinion. I think Tyler Diamond is going to come out pushing the pace, and I think he's just going to be coming out strong, just try to finish Brett Johns quick and easy, because I don't think his cardio is going to be keeping up as much as he did when he was younger. He's going to be cutting a lot of weight in this fight at the age he's at. He is 33 years old at this point. He doesn't sound too old for this as a fighter, but he's been fighting in the game for a long time, and he's been cutting weight for a long time. So I just think his cardio is not the same as when he was younger, and he's going to come out in the first round. I think he's just going to push the pace on Brett Johns, and it's going to be a competitive round to start off, and I think even Tyler Diamond can even win the first round. But then going into the second round, I think Brett Johns is going to have him filled out by then. Probably get a double leg, take him down, have in the early of the round, just ground control him, probably let him just try to get up, take him down again, and just get him tired and maybe get a late second round submission, or I can even see a beginning of a third round submission before the 30-minute mark in the third round getting finished. So for the first fight of the night, honestly, I would just go Brett Johns to win via submission or late second round. For this next fight here, it's going to be two low-level fighters, in my opinion, with Don Madge and Neiman Gracie. I think the line is way off with this one because they're both just low-level fighters, so I don't think the line should be this much. Where Don Madge, he's been in the UFC, and he didn't do very well, and he hasn't been very consistent with his MMA career. He wins fights against a lot of low-level fighters. He gets submissions against a lot of scrubs, and I don't think he's going to be able to do a lot of what he thinks he's going to do against Neiman Gracie. I think he's probably going to come out there and push the pace on Neiman Gracie at first and throw some strikes, but his striking is very low level in my opinion, and Neiman Gracie's strikes are very low level as well. He throws a lot of wild strikes with flying knees and wild hooks, but with their striking both not being that good, I think it's going to lead to a lot of clinch positions to where Neiman Gracie can grab a leg or even get a sweep and pull him down, and it'll just lead into a lot of grappling positions. And even if Don Madge wants to try to take him down and maybe pull him down and get top position, I can see Neiman Gracie getting and throwing up an armbar, catching him in an armbar from guard, or when Neiman Gracie eventually takes him down, he's going to hop on his back, I think, right away, and he's going to secure that rear naked choke in. So this would probably be my first underdog of the day, and it's a pretty big underdog at a plus 350, and I think this line, when I saw it, I was just hopped on it right away because I didn't understand why Don Madge was so much of a favorite, because he's not like barn burner or anything. He's not going to go in there and run through him, in my opinion, or he might. I just sit here and I look dumb and I have egg on my face at the losing money because he runs through him. But I think this is a pretty good underdog shot. I'm going to take Neiman Gracie, and I think he gets a submission in the second round, probably by rear naked choke. Next fight with Kamaka versus Pedro Carvalho. I think this is probably one of my more confident plays of the day, and it's kind of scary when I say my more confident play of the day is Kamaka, because he's known for, at least in the UFC, just blowing it when everyone thinks he's going to win, and he just goes out there and does the exact opposite of what you want him to do. But in this case, I honestly believe he's going to win this fight, and I think I'm very confident in it. I don't see a way where Pedro wins this fight unless he just cracks Kamaka in the first round, but I just don't see it happening. I think Kamaka is going to come out there and just throw a couple jabs and just throw some strikes and just lead it into the takedown. He's going to take down Pedro at will, and Pedro's probably going to just try to throw up some crazy submissions after a scramble like crazy and just tire himself out. And Kamaka just going to hold control and just ground and pound him for the first round, probably tire him out, and then by the second round, Pedro will be tired because he doesn't have really that good of a gas tank, in my opinion. I think he's just going to be wasted a lot of his energy in the first round trying to get up and throwing a lot of submissions in the first round. And Kamaka is just going to defend, hold ground control. In the second round, he's just going to go out there again, like just throw a couple strikes and lead into where he gets a takedown. And I think he can just probably get mount or take the back, flatten him out, and just ground and pound Pedro until he wins this fight. It's one of my more confident plays of the day. He'll probably be on my top person in my parlays, and hopefully Kamaka doesn't ruin it for us this weekend, because Kamaka is probably going to be in a lot of my parlays. So yeah, I just don't see a way Pedro wins this fight. I think he takes him down at will and either wins this fight, I would say even wins 30-26 with a 10-8 round, or he just finishes him with ground and pound. So yeah, Kamaka by either via finish or just by a unanimous next fight. Hopefully I don't butcher both of these guys' names. Goichi Yamauchi versus Andrei Koreshkov. For this fight, I think for Goichi, I think it's sub or bust. He's in a lot of his fights, he really just shoots a takedown and tries to just hold on to your leg. And this fight is really good. He's just going to want to take this fight to the ground, and it's going to be a sub or bust for him. I don't see another way he wins this fight. He's not an elite striker. I think Andre is a way better striker than he is. Andre is, from the fights I've seen, has also shown to have great takedown defense. As soon as someone tries to take him down, he gets his back against the fence really quick, and he gets his underhooks, and he usually gets his underhooks, locks his hands, and churns, and he likes to get separation really fast. And I don't see a way where Goichi actually could win this fight unless he does get him down, but I don't think he's going to. So in this fight, I think it's plain and simple, in my opinion. It's either going to be Goichi gets Andrei Koreshkov out to the ground and goes for the submission. And even if he does get him down in the first round, I don't see him even submitting him in the first round. So the fight is going to be starting standing in the second round, or Koreshkov could even get back up, because I've even seen him get back up when he's been taken down. So he has good takedown defense, and he has good fight IQ. Like, he gets separation real quick, and he's not going to sit into a grappling exchange with a guy that wants to grapple. And Goichi is just going to either be clinching onto a leg for 3 rounds and not getting the takedowns and get just pieced up for 3 rounds and lose a 30-27 decision, or Koreshkov is just going to eventually catch that chin and he's going to knock out Goichi probably, in my opinion, the second round. So if I had to choose just one of them, I'm going to say Koreshkov to probably win by a second round knockout. He eventually catches Goichi on the chin from just shooting in over and over. He's probably going to catch him with the probably right hand coming in, or even a knee coming in, and just knock him out. So I'm going to go Koreshkov for this fight. He's another play I actually would like pretty much. So I don't think Yamauchi has too much to throw at him besides a takedown. And for this next fight we're going to be getting into, and this is another fight I'm actually pretty confident in, Tamir Khrizriev versus Enrique Barzola. I think Tamir Khrizriev is just a lot levels better than Enrique Barzola. I think this fight's going to be honestly pretty boring, with Tamir just securing takedowns every round and just holding ground control, because I don't think he's going to be able to submit Enrique Barzola. Enrique Barzola has shown to have decent grappling skills, so I don't think he's going to be able to submit him, but he will be able to secure the takedowns and over 3 rounds over and over again. And I don't see Enrique really getting back up. I just see him just laying there and defending for 3 rounds, and that's just not going to just cut it with the judges. He's going to probably lose this fight 30-27 on the judges' scorecards, and I don't think it's really going to be very competitive. I think Enrique Barzola is going to get taken down all 3 rounds and just ground controlled. Tamir has thrown some heavy shots before, but his striking is pretty decent. He throws some hard shots, so he does have the knockout power, but he's mainly trying to get the fight to the floor. So yeah, I'm pretty confident in this fight. It's probably going to be another one that goes into my parlay with Kamaka. I'm really confident in Tamir Khrizriev holding the ground control for 3 rounds and just securing the takedowns over and over again, and probably win this fight. Next fight we're going to be getting into, it's going to be two elite fighters that are young, coming out of Russia, with Morad Ramazanov versus Shamil Mirzaev. Morad Ramazanov is a pretty strong grappler. He uses his size and his strength when he's pretty big for the weight class, and he uses his size and his strength to take his fighters to the floor, and he drops some pretty hard ground and pound. He's a pretty hard ground and pound striker. His stand-up game is still has a lot to be worked on because he's really just trying to get the fight to the floor and just smash people. And he has a lot of heavy top control where he just drops a lot of heavy elbows, and he holds a lot of great top control. His cardio has shown to be pretty decent. He can fight all 3 rounds, and he usually just grounds and pounds you until you quits. But he's fighting against a guy, and I think Shamil Musaev is a pretty elite striker that's also shown some pretty decent takedown defense in the last fight with Storle. He was a pretty decent sized underdog against Storle, and he showed pretty elite striking. He caught Storle a pretty decent amount of times coming in. Storle shot a couple takedowns, and he couldn't get Musaev down. And Musaev just showed that he has a lot of hard strikes. He has a pretty hard strike with his straight right hand, and he catches Storle coming in with pretty great timing. And that's why this fight's honestly pretty much even. I think the line is set at -110 for both of them. It's going to be a pick'em, and I think it's right on the money. Both of these fighters are pretty elite, and it's going to come down to who wants it more. And in my opinion, I think Morad Ramazanov is going to eventually get him down. I haven't seen Shamil Musaev go into the later rounds yet, so I don't know if he could sustain that cardio after the first round and maybe even after the second round of stopping the takedowns, because one thing I know is that Morad is not going to stop, and he's going to keep coming to take you down. And if he doesn't get you down the first time, he's going to keep shooting at you. And if he eventually gets you down, I think just because he's big for the weight class, I see him just holding a lot of top pressure on Shamil and just ground and pounding him. And I don't see how Shamil would get back up if he does get him to the floor. But if Shamil does keep the fight standing up, it's going to be really greasy. Shamil could probably even catch him with a straight right hand coming in and even hurt Ramazanov. So this is actually a really greasy fight. So if you're on the Musaev side, I'm not going to say anything about it, because that's actually might be a decent play too, because he does have some decent striking. It's actually pretty elite striking in my opinion. But I think Murad's going to be able to take him down and just neutralize him in the first round and just test his gas tank. And by the second round, I think Shamil's might be even tired, and Ramazanov is probably going to be dropping some heavy elbows and ground and pound and get, I would say, I'm going to say a second round finish via ground and pound. Okay, for this next fight we're going to be getting into is going to be the main fight of the prelim card. It's going to be Lorenz Larkin versus taking on Alan Dominguez. For this fight, I think it's going to be another confident play for me, in my opinion. I think Lorenz Larkin is going to be a decent play for this fight. I can see this fight going all 3 rounds, in my opinion, where Lorenz Larkin just picks Alan Dominguez apart and just stops his takedowns. Alan Dominguez is most likely going to just be trying to get to the fight to the floor. His striking is very limited from what I've seen, in my opinion. I've seen him just come in throwing some kind of like off jabs, like jabs kind of off, and he throws some wild strikes, and he just tries to get those clinch positions to where he just tries to shoot a double leg. And someone against Lorenz Larkin that's shown that he has some decent takedown defense. Not the best, but he has decent takedown defense against lower level competition. And I just don't think Alan Dominguez is going to be able to get him down. Lorenz Larkin has shown to have some diverse striking, and I think he's going to be able to pick apart Alan Dominguez, and he's going to be able to just do whatever he wants at will with him on the striking. I don't think he's going to be able to knock him out, because Alan Dominguez has shown to have a decent chin. He has been knocked out before, but he's shown in most of his fights to have a decent chin. And like, you know what they say about the Mexican fighters, they just can take a punch. They don't go down pretty easy. So Lorenz Larkin's probably either going to have to catch him with like a spinning wheel kick or an elbow, a close-in elbow just out of nowhere, again, just like in his last fight. But besides that, I think it's going to be a fight that goes to decision. If you want to try to get the better odds in the over 2.5, if you think Alan Dominguez has a chance by just taking him down and grinding Lorenz Larkin, the over 2.5 might be actually a decent play too, depending on the odds, if you would like that better. But I'm actually pretty confident Lorenz Larkin's keeping his fight standing up and picking apart Alan Dominguez, and maybe even getting a late third round knockout after Dominguez is tired. He might finish him in the late third round, or just going to the scorecards and winning unanimous decision. I would say 30-27 Lorenz Larkin. Okay, we're getting into our next fight here. This is another fight that I think is actually going to be a pretty close contested fight with Gabriel Alves Braga versus Bubba Jenkins. With Gabriel Alves Braga, his game plan for this fight is obviously he's going to want to keep this fight standing up and strike at distance against Bubba Jenkins. And if he can stop the takedowns, Bubba Jenkins has been shown to gas out from just shooting takedowns over and over again. When he doesn't get them, his gas tank just eventually wears. And Gabriel Alves Braga, I haven't seen too much of his takedown defense. With the tape I've watched, I would say the tape I've seen is pretty limited on his takedown defense. I've seen someone shoot one takedown on him, and he got taken down right away, but he got right back up. But the person that took him down wasn't too much of a high level wrestler as much as Bubba Jenkins has proven to be. But he did show that he can get up right away. But I do not know how he will be on his back if Bubba Jenkins does take him down. So that is one thing I do worry about him. But Gabriel Alves Braga is an elite striker, and if he does keep the fight standing up, and I think he could just pick apart Bubba Jenkins standing wise and just 1-2s from a distance and go all the way to decision, and probably win a close decision where he comes in the first round. It's a feel-out round for both of them where he just stopping takedowns and he strikes Bubba Jenkins. Bubba Jenkins outstrikes him by like 20 strikes and probably wins the judges first round by just keeping the fight standing and throwing some strikes. And even the second round, if he gets taken down, I can see the second round him getting taken down and Bubba Jenkins even winning the second round. And then going into that third round, I think it's going to come down to who has more of a gas tank. And if he can keep this fight standing up in that third round, I can believe he will actually can pull it off. But in this fight, I don't think for my bet, I'm not actually going to be betting a winner. If I had to pick a winner, I'd be going Gabriel Alves Braga by decision. But the best bet I would see on this fight, to be honest, I would take the over 2.5. I think this fight is going to be going to decision to where either Gabriel Alves Braga can stop some takedowns and win a decision against Bubba Jenkins. It might even be a split decision either way, because if Bubba Jenkins can secure those takedowns, then he can just hold the takedowns for 3 rounds and he could also win, while Braga is going to be a better striker. He's going to be the better wrestler. So it literally just comes down to who's going to have the better, who's going to be able to put their game plan out there better. So for this fight, my pick's going to be the over 2.5. If I had to pick a winner, I would go Gabriel Alves Braga by the fight. We got Magomed Umalatov versus Brendan Ward. Magomed is a pretty high favorite with minus 850 against Brendan Ward. This fight just screams dog or pass all over for me, or probably even the over 1.5 rounds, because Magomed is very green. He's shown to come out there and throw some heavy strikes in the first round. And the one thing from what I've seen in the Brendan Ward fights is Brendan Ward is like, he's not no bitch. Like he's a dog and he likes to fight and he walks you forward. He likes to push a pace and he comes. That might even get him knocked out early. But I just don't think he's gonna get knocked out early. I think he's gonna be able to take the onslaught from Magomed in the first round, to where Magomed is still green, he doesn't know how to lose yet. He doesn't know what it feels like to get tired. So I think I'm thinking about taking the underdog shot on Brendan Ward, even a live betting opportunity, because Magomed's gonna have a great first round. He's gonna go out there and he's probably gonna land some hard shots on Brendan Ward, and Brendan Ward might even get knocked out in the first round. So the live betting opportunity might be even the best way to go. If Brendan Ward doesn't get knocked out in the first round, live bet Brendan Ward, because you might even get him at a plus 1,000 or a plus 800 at that point. And someone that's green as Magomed after the first round, I don't see him, even if he doesn't have a gas tank, he's going to be one of those guys that come out there, tries to get a first round finish, and if he doesn't, he's going to gas out. And against someone at this point, against Brendan Ward, that's been into a lot of dog fights, and he's shown that he is a dog himself and he likes to walk you down and just keep that pace going. So in my opinion, my bets for this fight, I'm probably gonna take a live betting opportunity on Brennan Ward after the first round if it gets there, and then I'm gonna probably take it over 1.5 round because I do think Brennan Ward is gonna be able to last the first round. So even if Magomed does win a decision or a third round finish of Brennan Ward, I will still cash the over 1.5, but. Yeah, a live betting opportunity does look really good for me. For Brennan Ward, I might like in this one. I might look like egg on my face again with Brennan Ward. Might go out there and get knocked out in the first round, but I'm not gonna go and pay minus 850 on a guy that hasn't proven to me yet, in my opinion, that he's actually fought the best competitions, and he seems that he doesn't have great cardio that's going to last in 3 rounds, where Brennan Ward seems like he is going to be fighting to that third round. He's going to be coming walking forward, and that might be to his demise, and he might get caught with a straight right or overhand right by Magomed and get knocked out in the first round, but I just don't think that's how this fight's going to play out. So I'm going to be taking another underdog shot on Brennan Ward with a live betting opportunity. Right now it's a plus 575. And like I said, after the first round, I could probably see this line jumping to a plus 800, plus 900 for Brennan Ward. And if he gets past that first round, that's where we jump on it. So yeah, I think my final prediction for this fight was going to be Brennan Ward. Okay, guys, for this next fight, I think we can get through this breakdown pretty quickly with Logan Storle versus Luka Pucket. Logan Storle is going to win this fight, guys, in my opinion. Like, I don't see a way Luka wins this fight. I think Logan is going to be using his wrestling. He's a great wrestler. Like, everybody knows his wrestling credentials, and Luka has shown that he doesn't have great takedown defense either, and he even welcomes a takedown sometimes, and he might even think that he could even out-wrestle Logan Storle here, but that's not going to happen. So, yeah, guys, I'm going to get through this breakdown really fast. Logan Storle is over a minus 1,000 favorite on the betting odds. I don't think I'm going to add him in any of my parlays because there's no reason to even add him in the parlays for the odds, because it's not going to add anything. So if you just want my prediction on this, I think Logan Storle is going to take him down, and then he's going to ground and pound him and either finish him in the first or second round, and it's going to be the easiest fight of the night for... Get into this main event, the last fight of the night with Brandon Loughnane versus Justin Gonzalez. I'm not going to take too much time on this fight as well because I think this is one of my most confident plays of the night with Brandon Loughnane to beat Justin Gonzalez. Justin Gonzalez has shown to where if he doesn't get the takedown, he just quits on himself and he doesn't really want to fight anymore. Where Brandon Loughnane always wants to fight and he just keeps the pace going. No matter if he's losing or winning, he's going to keep walking forward and he's in a fight where like someone like Colby Covington that keeps walking forward in fights, and he's not going to stop walking forward. He's going to keep the 1-2s going down the middle, and he's going to stop the takedowns from Justin Gonzalez, where I could see this fight ending in the late third round finish or Brandon Loughnane winning this fight 30-27 via unanimous decision. So, like I said, he's probably one of my most confident picks of the night with him and Kamaka and Khrizriev. That would probably be a 3-fight parlay right there for you guys if you guys want to put that in and lock that in. That seems like a lock to me. Well, all right, guys, that's going to be the end of our first episode of the Wager Zone MMA podcast. Stay tuned, everybody. If you guys liked the video, can you guys please like and subscribe. Please come back every single week. I'm going to be posting a UFC video tomorrow. Every single week, we're going to be posting videos Tuesdays and Wednesdays for fights. Could be LFA, Bellator, UFC, and as of right now, we just did PFL. All right, guys, stay tuned for more videos. I'll let you guys know what other sports we're going to be doing. Stay tuned. And happy to have you guys here. Thank you.